And we're live. Once again, back again, third attempt at this. Just a quick little run in. What's going on, people? It's your bro, Hollywood T Money, Theron, whatever you want to call me, T, whatever. Don't care. Third run in attempt. What happened is during the last podcast, which is now available on iTunes and all that good stuff, YouTube, if you want to listen to it, the live, uncut, uncensored. Tried to do a run in at the end to get my picks in. We were having a random kickback at the house, going away party. Rest in peace, Sean. Good luck at SC this fall. Tried to run in. I guess it got edited out at the end of the final take. Thanks a lot, mystery producer. I will beat you up in a forest match in your own hometown. So I just want to give you my picks and my thoughts on SummerSlam, and also a quick little look over from NXT TakeOver, which was last night, and it was all the way live. All right, here we go. Just gonna run down live. Don't really care. Hopefully this is getting me. Hopefully it's recording. So first match on the pre-show is gonna be the B Team versus the Revival. So that is Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel versus the Revival, Dash and Dawson. I'm picking the Revival just because I feel like even though the B Team's hot right now, they're really over right now. It's time for a change of scenery in the Raw Tag Division. It's kind of like a, how do you call it? It's kind of like a joke, you know? Get a little bit more serious, put the titles on the Revival. They can do a rematch with the B Team and then make the division more competitive because it's been pretty, I mean, it hasn't been stale. It just hasn't been as entertaining. No slack on the B Team, but I picked the Revival. Live outlines, man. Next up is going to be, this is all in the pre-show. We're looking at Rusev Day, which is the Ravishing Russian Lana and the Bulgarian Brute Rusev. I'm going to pick versus, excuse me, I didn't even give you their opponents. They're fighting Zelita Vega and Andrade Cien Almas. They have a hot little mixed match feud going on right now. Almas and Vega have kind of been getting the best of the Rusev Day. I think we've seen a face turn. I'm not really sure. I haven't watched I didn't catch a lot of the highlights of SmackDown this week. I saw some. But I think from what I gather off Cage Side Seats, another place you can listen to our show, Aiden English might have turned on Rusev Day. I don't know. Anyway, my pick is Rusev Day. Give them a win. It'll be good for Lana, good for Rusev, especially if they're turning face now. It's just a push in the right direction for them. And, you know, Almas and Vega can take a loss and still bounce back. Should be a good match, too. Next up is an 8-year running feud. This goes all the way back to the original NXT, the rookie class, back when it was actual competition. We have Daniel Bryan, the Beard, versus The Miz, one-on-one, straight up grudge match. Keep in mind, 8-year feud, running long, running strong. You know, Miz was Daniel Bryan's teacher. Daniel Bryan was his NXT rookie. You know, Daniel Bryan got eliminated. The feud started pretty much right from there, and it's been going on ever since. Of course, Daniel Bryan was forced into an early retirement temporarily. WWE wouldn't clear him. Miz cuts the best promo ever, probably in the last 5 years, on Talking Smack. Bryan walks off stage, and now he just wants to punch him in the face. However, I think if WWE wants to get this right, they go with The Miz as the victor. I think Tommy picked him too, or maybe Ant, just because it'll be good for SmackDown, good for an up-and-coming heel. Well, he's not even up-and-coming. He's already arrived. It's good for him to push him towards the title picture. He could feud with AJ Styles from there. He could feud with Samoa Joe. Two heels, doesn't really matter. Whoever's WWE champion after the night. And then they could even put the belt on him. I think that'd be good for The Miz. I think it'd be good for the company because he's actually one of the best heels on the roster right now. So I'm picking The Miz. Next is going to be Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. I don't really understand this feud. I think it's just kind of a feud to keep both guys relevant and kind of in the mix. They don't have much to do. That's Constable Baron Corbin. I'm just going to straight up pick Baron Corbin. I think he's going to win straight up. No knock on Finn. I just think For whatever reason, WWE really wants to push Corbin, so I think he'll get the W. Yeah, that's that. And then they can move on from each other or whatever. Other match we have is the Cruiserweight Championship, a title that's not forgotten, but only on 205 Live. It'll be good to see this match actually. Haven't seen any of the Cruiserweight division because I don't watch 205 Live. I really probably should, but I don't. That's going to be Drew Gulak for a Better Tomorrow versus Cedric Alexander. I'm going with Gulak. I think, Cruiserweight division could use a fresh heel champion. I think they were going in the right direction with the guy that no longer is with the company, that won't be named or ever talked about on this show again. But obviously that failed. And if you get it on Gulak, he's a good heel. He's good on the mic. He's a great technical wrestler. It'll just be good for the division because you can actually work off of him being technical and not being a high flyer, and you can do that whole thing. So I think that's what we get. I think we get a nice heel. I think Triple H likes him. Boom goes the Dynamite. Then you have Shinsuke Nakamura, the artist, versus Jeff Hardy for the United States title. Little rematch action with Randy Orton hanging out, like snaking around, being a super creep. I'm picking Shinsuke to retain. It's his first title run. Hardy doesn't really need a title to be relevant. You know, the faceless one, the Enigma, Brother Nero, whatever. You know, he can get over without it. So I feel as though Shinsuke will win this match. It'll keep pushing him on that U.S. title scene. They can do a Hardy-Orton feud. They can move Shinsuke into a feud with another mid-card or whatever they want to do after that. Next up is going to be a triple threat match for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. You got Carmella, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Balboa, Becky Lynch. My money's on Mella to retain, not because of her abs, which are great, but because of the fact that she's hot. She's killing it in the women's division. She's won with and without James Ellsworth. She's beaten Asuka of all people. There's really no need for Charlotte to get the title right now, especially if we might be staring right into like a 4 horsewoman feud in the near future, which could very well be possible. We don't know. Becky Balboa, strong, determined, but she'd also be part of that feud, and she's always the underdog that comes up short. So I think Mella retains, maybe moves back into a feud with Asuka. I don't really know, but that's my pick. Next we got, this is a good feud too, Dolph Ziggler, the hashtag heel, with Drew Mac in the corner, Drew McIntyre, Mackie McMillan, versus Seth Rollins with the returning lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose, who looks really jacked. Looks like he just did triceps the whole time he was hurt. Obviously he had a triceps injury, shoulder injury, whatever. He's bigger, new haircut, looks really reckless. I predict shenanigans. I predict a heel turn from Ambrose. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow, if Rollins wins the title and they can feud for it, or tonight helps McIntyre retain. You know, he kind of still owes Rollins one. They've had good feuds in the past. And I just think it'd be a good time to do it. You know, instead of going back to like the Shield, you just tear it up, blow it up, turn Ambrose heel, and he'd probably still get over. So I'm picking Ziggler. And I never go against Monday Night Rollins either. So this is like a big deal. Next up, Money in the Bank contract match. Braun Strowman has put his Money in the Bank contract on the line. He will face Kevin Owens. Winner keeps or gets the briefcase. I'm going to pick Kevin Owens because even though he's probably not going to pin him, he just has to win. If he can get that briefcase off of him, he can cash in. I think WWE's really high on Kevin Owens. You could do so much with the story. Like, let's say he wins, he cashes in, wins the title, takes it off Roman if Roman beats Brock Lesnar or whatever have you, however you want to do it, and keeps it for a while. And then like Sami Zayn comes back and they could do like a feud with them two again, or there's just a lot of stuff they can do. It gives Owens a chance, because I was thinking about this, like, you know, Strowman doesn't need the title. It'll be great when he does get it. I mean, he'll get it eventually, I think. He'll get a little run with it, but he's just big and people like him anyway. He doesn't need the title to be relevant. and he's so big. But Owens, his last title run was skewed because it was a lot of help from, you know, Jericho and the Authority and stuff. And if you do it this way, you give Owens a chance to maybe establish himself as a dominant champion, which he can be. I mean, he was fierce when he first came in, and it kind of made him soft. So that's my pick. That's a long-winded explanation, but that's what I'm going with. Keep saying I'm a love, geez. Live TV, people. Next thing up on here is the New Day, which I'm so over the New Day, versus the Bludgeon Brothers. SmackDown Live tag titles on the line. Possible 6th title reign for the New Day, 5th title reign, I don't really know. I'm gonna pick the New Day just because they could make history and they're really over and they always give a good match, and it's time for the Bludgeon Brothers to be slowed down. I think this is actually gonna be a good match. It's gonna probably be competitive. And I think the New Day is gonna blow it up, and there'll be a big pop if they win too. It'll be good for the SmackDown division or tag division, and you can, you know, give someone else a chance. You know what I mean? Next one. Okay, good match. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, WWE Championship. I'm leaning towards a Samoa Joe title run. I'm picking Samoa Joe to win the title. Not saying that Styles isn't going to bring it, that these matches aren't going to be, their matches in the past in TNA haven't been great. Their feud's been decent. I just pictured Joe being the male version of Shayna Baszler. She tore up the women's division for a while in NXT. And I just feel like Joe could do that on the men's. I mean, he's already doing it, but imagine him with the title, big bully, you know, beats up who he wants to beat up. Come get the title from me, you know, prize fighter, hitman, whatever. I'm picking Joe. I think this match is going to be an instant classic. Might be the best match on the card. Then you got this big Raw Women's Raw Women's Championship match. Rowdy Ronda Rousey getting her 2nd title opportunity somehow. Don't even know how. Versus Alexa Bliss. I'm picking Bliss. We already know Little Miss Bliss is like one of my favorites. I think there'll be some shenanigans. I think there'll be some tomfoolery. I think there'll be no way that Rousey wins yet. It's too early in her career, especially when she was like, oh, I want to come in and establish myself. You can't just come in, go straight to the main roster and then win the title. Like, that makes 0 sense. So I'm picking Rousey. After that, okay. So last match on the card, I think this is going to end up being the main event, is Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, blah, 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 versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is, I don't know, 16th title opportunity in the last like 3 years, like 5th or 6th opportunity at the Universal Championship. And all signs would point to Reigns winning this time, right? Wrong. I think Brock Lesnar is going to win. I think that Vince is going to Vince. That's why I titled this. I think Vince feels as though he can keep that title on Lesnar. Lesnar wants to do the UFC thing, wants to stay in WWE. Imagine if he's a dual champion and the press they would get from it. And, you know, Vince is going to Vince. The crowd don't want it. I don't want it, but that's what's going to happen. And those are my picks. Hopefully I get a good win percentage tonight. I don't really know. A lot of things are probably shocking to you guys. Real quick, NXT TakeOver. Shout out NXT TakeOver. It was last night. Don't want to spoil too much, but it was a great show. Great opening tag match with the Undisputed Era and Mustache Mountain. Instant classic matches on that show all the time. That was good. Velveteen Dream versus EC3 was great, of course. Big spot for those two guys, you know, really establishing themselves in NXT and doing what they need to do. Ricochet versus Adam Cole, insane. Ricochet amazes me every time. Adam Cole amazes me every time. Adam Cole is like the next Shawn Michaels. Ricochet is just great high flyer, great entertainment, great sell, great in-ring, all that stuff. Baszler, Kairi Sane, like really sold me on Kairi Sane establishing herself. Bushido tap in, like good stuff. Baszler's already over. Can't wait to see the, if possible, Horsewoman feud, like how that works. That'll be good. What was another match? I think I've covered them all. There's usually only 5. And then, of course, the main event, you know, the Ciampa Gargano storyline, just continuing to impress. The match was great. The build was great. The end was even better. And, you know, I'm not spoiling anything, but all of these matches were really good. Really proud of NXT. Really proud of what they're doing down there. And stay tuned. And spoiler alert, Matt Riddle has signed a contract. Look out, he could be one of the next Von Erichs. I know he doesn't wrestle with shoes, and I know he smokes pot. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's it. Just a quick little feed, just to get my picks out there, put them up on the show or on the site. Listen to us, subscribe to us, all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll see y'all next week or the week after. We'll do a review and looking forward to SummerSlam. Yep. Boop. As we fade into the distance. This was the same problem last time.